Sir, your card was declined.
Try again.
I've already tried twice.
It's fine. I'll pay.
Okay. You can't even afford a single meal. What's the point of being with you?
Didn't you tell me that he was just your client? Bro, don't blame her. Women, you know. I only have about $70 left on my card. Not even enough for a cab ride back. My name is Liam, and I'm an auto mechanic. The rent for my apartment is due soon. The auto repair shop I used to work for went out of business in March. They still haven't paid me the 2 months' wages they owe me. I don't have any other choice. Have you fixed cars before? For over 3 years. Then washing cars wouldn't be beneath you? No, it wouldn't.
Night shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Wash at least 8 cars a day. There's a tin shed in the corner. You live there. Don't touch the cars unless you have to. If anything goes missing, it's coming out of your paycheck.
Okay. If she deleted it, so be it.
Sigh. Why are you sighing?
Think about my previous owner.
Who? Who is talking? Who's talking?
My previous owner was so miserable. The 3 gold bars hidden in the spare tire, along with me, sold to the dealership for $5,000. 3 gold bars? That's nothing. The USB drive tied under my chassis is what's really valuable. $2 million worth of trade secrets tied to the rear for engine.
Keep bragging.
Who's bragging? My previous owner, the CEO of. Before his partner set him up and bankrupted him, he backed up the core data and hid it in me. But before he could retrieve it, he was sent to prison, and I was towed here.
It hurts. This isn't a dream. Were these cars just talking?
My previous owner was so pathetic. The 3 gold bars hidden in the spare tire.
Either I'm crazy, or it's real.
Regardless of which one it is, there's no harm in verifying it.
With it all messed up out front, nobody's going to touch it any soon. Why is it so heavy? This must be over 100 grams. It's real. What that car said is true. I can't carry the gold bars with me. 3 gold bars of unknown origin. I can't explain them. Why aren't any cars talking today? Was last night just a coincidence? Hallucination? Don't you think that new car wash guy is a bit weird? What are you afraid of? Humans can't hear us talking. True. You know, Arthur is really dishonest. I was just rear-ended. The frame is fine. I can driven after some repairs. But him? He plans to roll back my odometer to 10,000, give me patch-up phone glue, and the nerd to sell me for free R1!
Has he done few wicked things? Look at that black car over there. A flooded car. The water reached the dashboard, and wire harnessing completely rotted. Lao Tin got someone to dry it out, replaced it as Sinfon wheel, and Tangerschen Fisho Chirpauchen. Last week, a young girl came to look at the car and almost signed the contract. Fortunately, her dad came over and smelled mildew under the seats. I can actually hear these cars talking. It's not a sound ringing in my ears, but more like it appears directly in my head. It's buzzing and has a sense of direction. I can even accurately tell which car is speaking.
Why does it hurt so much? My head feels so swollen it's going to split open. No, I can't stay here anymore. I need to go back and rest.
It seems I can't keep listening to the voices of cars. It affects the brain. I slept all night, but my head still feels a bit uncomfortable. It's real. But I can only give you 85% of the market price. Deal.
127,500.
Okay. There's only over 70 in the card, but over 120,000 in the backpack. Suman's avatar in the contacts has turned gray. At 2 a.m., I brought a can of premium car wax to the black car. Turned on the headlamp. The shock absorber is leaking oil, and a mixed smell of rust and engine oil rushes into my nose.
Range Rover guy. Brother,
Who is it?
I heard you say last night that a USB flash drive was tied under the chassis. Can you hear us talking?
Yes.
Rear differential. 2 centimeters to the right of the third fixing screw, there is a waterproof bag tied with a zip tie. I plugged the flash drive into the laptop. There's a TNS file, unencrypted. If you found this flash drive, it means I, Allison, am already finished. Inside is a backup of all the core technologies of Horizon Tech and all the evidence of forging financial data embezzles company assets.
The password is my daughter's birthday. I don't know if there's still a chance to turn things around, but these things cannot fall into Jack's hands. I'm begging you.
Allison, founder of Horizon Tech, is suspected of occultational embezzlement and partner Jack. Consi assets frozen and Allison allows relief and unnamed. Jack takes over with Horizon the Shriji Tech. Jack is now the actual controller of Horizon Tech. If these patents and evidence are real, they are worth far more than the $2 million the black car driver mentioned. This thing is too hot to handle. For the next 3 days, I slept during the day, washed cars at night, and listened to them. My odometer was rolled back from 180,000 to 23,000. I'm a flooded car. The wiring is completely rotted. Richard replaced the steering wheel and sold as a near-new car. Front lunar beam was welded, and they sprayed factory paint to cover the weld marks. Priced at 230,000. Black Camry, flooded car. Water reached the dashboard. Wiring harness at 218,000. Gray Mercedes C-Class. Front laundered beam welded. Sold as accessory. Priced at 230,000. 12 cars with rolled back odometers. The worst one was rolled back from 180,000 to 23,000. 6 flooded cars, dried out interiors replaced, sold as near new cars. 3 days. I figured out the details of 37 cars pretty well. Every car told me its true condition, like a patient confessing their medical history to a doctor. I also discovered a pattern. This hearing ability only works between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., and I must be alone. Once a second person walks into the car lot, the cars go quiet. Every time I finish listening, my temple throb with pain for 2 or 3 hours, like someone hitting my head with a hammer from the inside. The longer I listen, the worse the pain gets.
Who touched that 911? Why is the spare tire missing?
At Arthur from the morning shift shook his head. Security guard at George shook his head. At Richard's gaze swept over and landed on me.
You're on the night shift. You were the only one at the lot at night.
Robert, I washed that 911. The spare tire was already missing at that time.
Missing?
Yeah, when I was washing the trunk, I found the floorboard was empty. I wanted to tell you then, but I got busy and forgot.
Forgot?
I came to tell you the next day, but you went out for business and weren't here. Then things piled up.
All right. Even though the 911 is a scrapped car we bought for $5,000 and the spare tire isn't worth, but you need to be more careful in the future.
Range Rover? Your previous owner, Allison, was he framed by that Jack?
It's more than just being framed.
Jack forged the financial statements, made fake contracts, and pinned all the company's deficit on Allison. Allison was negotiated a technical operation with a German company at the time. All the core data was on the company server. Jack struck first. Jack forged the financial statements, made fake contracts, and pinned all the company's deficit on Allison. Allison was negotiated a technical operation with a German company at the time. All the core data was on the company server. Jack struck first. Jack forged the financial statements, made fake contracts, and pinned all the company's deficit on Allison. Allison was negotiated a technical operation with a German company at the time. All the core data was on the company server. Jack struck first and formatted the server. But he didn't know Allison left a backup on me. Where is Allison now? I don't know. After he was released on bail pending trial, I never saw him again. This thing is a knife. And also a card. The problem is, how do I, a car washer, play this card? I used the money exchanged from the gold bar to buy a second-hand laptop and a new phone. During the day, I search the news and look through court announcements. At night, I wash cars and listen to cars. Whenever I squeeze out some time, I run to the downtown area. Allison lawsuit went to trial last October. The case has never been sentenced. His original company was in the high-tech shoe, and now has changed sign. Jack changed Novasight Technology to Pinnacle Dynamics Tech. In the end, finding Allison relied on a car. There the parking of a black Japanese car. Last month, he even sold me, saying he needed to gather lawyer fees. He now lives in a very dissipated old neighborhood on Shengli Street in the North District. It's miserable. His wife also ran away. Now he lives there alone with his daughter. Allison sold the Japanese car. His luxury car was already gathering dust in Robert garage. He didn't even know that luxury car was still there, let alone that the USB flag drive was safe and sound. Shengli Street in the North District. I have a place to look. On the third day, I finally saw a man coming out with a bicycle. Thin, with prominent cheekbones and gray hair. It's Arthur. Lily, Dad is going to the supermarket. Do your homework at home, okay?
Got it!
Arthur.
Huh. Who are you?
I have what you left in the Land Rover.
What is it?
A USB drive, 64G, brand new Samsung. Your daughter's birthday is the password.
How did you know?
Let's find a place to talk. 2 bowls of beef noodles were placed on the plastic table. The steam fogged his glasses. I pushed the USB drive to him.
I thought I'd never get this back in my life.
Is there anything in there that can overturn the case?
Yes.
The original documents of Jack forging financial data and the complete restriction of the company's core patents. He formatted the server. Now everything in my hands is incomplete. If I can prove these patents are my original creations, what are you lacking now? Lawyer fees, costs for investigation and evidence collection, and time. The bail period is almost up. I've sold my car and my house, and all the money is sunk into the lawsuit. Now I can barely afford my daughter's tuition.
Why are you helping me?
Because I've also been trampled underfoot by others. I know how it feels. On the bus back to the car dealer, I kept thinking, I still have over $110,000 left in my hands. Take out $8,000 for Richard to hire a lawyer. Keep $30,000 for myself as working capital. Bet. It was already 8 p.m. when I got back to the dealership. I changed into my work clothes and got ready to start washing cars.
Is Arthur here? The car I looked at last time, I want to try it again. Richard, come, I kept that car for you. Oh, isn't this Lehman?
You are here washing cars?
Good. You found a job. Work hard. Be down to earth. Stop chatting. The car's over here.
They left. Samantha looked back at me. Her eyes were complicated, a bit unbearable, but more of rejoicing that she made the right choice. Continued to spray water. The water column hit the iron sheet. The crashing sound covered everything. Arthur signing the contract. Treat the brothers to a good meal. Richard, car is parked in our lot. Sigh. Have to spend the night outside again. Are you Richard Carr? Besides, his dad, who was in the building materials business, went bankrupt last year. Now he relies entirely on robbing Peter Rawl just to keep up appearances.
Then why is he still buying me? I cost $230,000.
He told that woman that he would buy her a nice car as a birthday present. I heard he wants to buy me.
Yeah, but where would he get the money? He maxed out 6 credit cards and borrowed everything he could from online loans. That Patek Philippe is fake. My passenger glove box is stuffed with a stack of collection letters.
It's all about face. Even if he can't hold up, he has to. I gendosed on my chest where I had been trampled on. Sunday's Arthi Bawan Tatatahadewa.
The lawyer is investigating next week. The password worked. The files are all there. Thank you.
Arthur brought back 5 accident vehicles from out of town. Among them, a black sedan was particularly out-towning. This car is not simple.
At 2 a.m., I walked up to that black car. It was chatting with a car next to it.
How did you crash?
Sai, my previous owner was a smuggler. He was chased hard last month and couldn't make the turn.
So here I am. However, in the hidden compartment of my trunk, there's still something hidden.
Huh? What is it?
A few pieces of rough jade mold. My previous owner brought them back from Myanmar. Top quality material. He didn't even have time to cut a window in them. Stuffed in the interlayer under the spare tire. The people at this auto shop didn't notice it at all when they dismantled the poppet, because that interlayer was added later and fits perfectly with the original Ford.
Rough jade soot? This card is even bigger than gold bars. And the water type. This piece of material, even for someone like me who only knows a little, can tell it's not cheap.
Two days later, I found a middleman. Arthur's been looking at materials for over 20 years. He has a sharp tongue but accurate eyes. Don't talk nonsense. Let him look first. Where is the stuff?
The old man took a strong flashlight and shone it for 10 minutes. He changed 3 magnifying glasses. This big one, if it's consistent with the window when cut open, ice type and full green, it's worth at least 400,000 to 500,000. The 3 smalls are a bit worse, adding up to over 100,000. Are you going to sell?
Not for now.
Young man, before a rough stone is cut, it's just an estimate. Keeping it is risky. Cutting it is also risky. Can you handle it?
I can handle it.
All right. You've got guts.
I rented a new small warehouse downtown to store the rough jade stones. Now I have more and more cards in my hand. The gold bars cashed out from 27 and the rough jade stones are estimated at over 60,000. Although haven't be cash yet, but my confidence is completely different now. More importantly, on Arthur's side, after the lawyer got the data in the USB drive, they started to follow the clues. There are 7 data for consentence forged by Jack, and in Arthur's patent documents there are complete types and original R&E records, which is enough to prove the ownership of the intellectual property. Arthur sends an update every 2 days, and his tone is changing, from initial caution to later certainty. Jack is finished. The lawyer said the evidence collection will yield results in 2 months at the earliest. 2 months. I can wait. At the same time, I started doing something else. I used the money had to register an account online called Car Truth, dedicated to posting guide how to avoid scams when buying used cars. No mention dealership names, no mention specific vehicles, just explaining the tricks. How this flooded car was disguised as a near new car. Step 1. Bake the whole car for 48 hours. The ionomer was rolled back from 180,000 to 30,000 in just a few steps. The content is too real, because these things originally came from real cases. Every single detail can stand up to scrutiny. In the 3rd week after registering the account, the followers broke 20,000. 5th week, broke 100,000. Blogger, who exactly are you? How do you know so much inside information? Someone who has washed a lot of cars. Robert knew this account was mine, but he already felt the pressure. In the last 2 months, fewer and fewer customers are coming to look at cars. A few customers, after look at cars, checked against from the Article 1 and then load lease. Gordon was in the office complaining to a few salesmen. Business has been hard lately. Some bastard on the internet is specifically teaching people how to inspect accident cars, making the customers smarter one by one. Gordon started investigating. He's no fool. Having been in the used car business for over a decade, anyone who can establish a foothold in this industry has a sharp mind. First, he had the salesman search for articles from Car Truth online, comparing them one by one with the cars in the lot. He found that the details in at least 4 articles matched our operational methods exactly.
There's a mole. Go investigate.
The night shift car washer, day shift Joe, and Arthur look into who recently took photos inside the lot with their phone. Got it, sir. What he said in the office, I heard loud and clear from the tin shed. The first investigated was Joe from the early shift. Arthur's in his 50s, an honest man. He's worked at the car lot for 3 years. Gordon went through his phone and found no suspicious photos, but he discovered that last week he used the company printer to print a few pages of his resume.
Well, Arthur, working here while thinking about finding your next job, huh? And using the company printer to print your resume for the new company's interview. Get out!
Get out.
Your salary will be settled at the end of the month. If you dare to leak company secrets, watch I'll sue you.
His face flushed red, his lips trembled for a long but couldn't tell you what. He turned and left. I stood at the car yard, bottle of car wash in my hand, watch him hunt his back and walk through the iron gate. When he passed by me, he patted my shoulder.
Lee, don't stay in this place for too long.
Watching Arthur's departing back, I felt a lump in my throat. Richard won't stop, but he won't be able to trace it to me, because I never use my phone to take pictures of things in the car yard. All the information is memorized in my head. After returning to the tin house, I write it down by hand in a notebook. The notebook is locked in the toolbox, and the Car Truth account was registered with a newly bought phone number. Samantha called. A week later, Suman called. I looked at the number on the screen. I didn't save her name, but I had memorized that string of numbers for 2 years. What does she want from me?
Liam.
What's up?
The Audi I borrowed from Richard suddenly wouldn't start last week. I sent it to the dealership for inspection, and they said there was a problem with the wiring. It would cost over $20,000 to fix it once.
Go find Richard.
He seems to be a bit tight on money lately. The bag he bought me last month, I later found out it was a high-quality knockoff. He said it was a limited edition.
Why are you telling me all this?
I just wanted to chat with you.
Samantha, when you delighted me, you didn't think about chatting with me.
There was a silence of 7 or 8 seconds on the other end of the phone. I'm sorry. I didn't reply, not because I still hated her, but because I felt these 3 words were light and airy, like the hot wind blowing from a fan. It dissipated as soon as it touched the skin. Hung up.
Early this morning, a newly arrived white New Energy V vehicle started chatting with the SUV next to it. My previous owner was one of Richard's people. His sales manager, what was his name? Right, Marcus. What happened? Marcus found a side hustle, helping Richard with insurance. Intentionally crashing a damaged car, then filing an insurance claim to pocket the repair money. Anyway, the insurance company doesn't come for on-site inspections. Last year alone, Marcus helped Richard pocket almost $800,000 from this. This isn't a gray area, like rolling back odometers. This is a downright crime. Another card in my hand. But when to play it, and how, it's not the right time yet. The turning point came faster than I expected. A month later, on a Wednesday afternoon, I was catching up on sleep in the tin house when the door was kicked open.
Liam, get out here.
I sat on the edge of the bed, pretending to rub my eyes, but my heart rate had actually spiked to 120. What's wrong, Richard?
The West Side is only so big.
The West Side is only so big. The IP of the account exposing the used car insider info is also in the West Side. Tell me, is it a coincidence?
Richard, there are over a dozen used dealerships in the West Side. We're not the only one.
True, but the car washers at other dealerships didn't graduate from auto repair schools. The stuff written in those articles, someone who hasn't repaired cars couldn't write it.
Richard, are you suspecting me?
I'm not suspecting you. Every day at 3 a.m., you are wandering around the garage. Washing cars doesn't require working till 3 a.m., right? Take out your phone.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that I am your boss. If you have no problem,
Letting me check won't make you lose a piece of meat.
Richard turned everything upside down, but couldn't find any content related to the true words about cars, because all those things are in another phone, locked in a warehouse downtown.
Liam, I don't care if you made that account or not, but you listen to me carefully. As long as you work here for a day, don't even think about messing with me.
Otherwise,
There's still time, but I'm still missing one thing. The evidence of insurance fraud. Tonight, one last time. Range Rover, here again. Heard Arthur came looking for you today.
You all know about it?
Nonsense. Whatever happens in the yard, every car knows. Passia saw it and spread it all over the factory.
I need a favor. That insurance fraud thing, how exactly did Marcus pull it off? Which car did he do it on? Are there any paper records left in the car?
ask that silver Golf. He was used by Marcus for insurance fraud.
Golf, you were used for insurance fraud?
Yeah. Last October, Marcus deliberately smashed my left rear fender, denting it, Then he filed an insurance claim saying was scratched by customer during a test drive, pocketing $30,000 in repair funds. But in reality, he only spent $2,000 for a touch-up. Do you have evidence?
My dash cam, they pulled the front memory card, but they forgot the rear camera's card. That card is still plugged into the camera base on the inside of my rear windshield. What's on the card?
There's footage of Joe smashing my fender with a hammer. The time, location, and face are all clear. This is enough to put Gordon behind bars for a few years. I handed in my resignation the very next day. Gordon looked at my resignation letter, his brows furrowing.
Quitting?
Family matters. I need to go back for a while.
Back where?
Hometown, Tex.
All right. Your salary will be wired to your card at the end of the month.
Okay. I packed up my things in the tin shack. One backpack, all packed. Toolbox, notebooks, every trace related to this auto shop, all taken away. As I walked out of the tin gate,
Liam, take care.
Arthur, take care. After leaving this leadership, I rented a studio apartment downtown. I only have a little over $40,000 left in my hands. $80,000 went to Arthur, and I spent some on daily expenses. But the rough jewelry stone hasn't been touched yet. Next, I need to do two things. First, organize the evidence I have and detonate it together with Arthur's case. Second, make Car Truth bigger. This is my future path. The followers Car Truth have already 200,000. Plus, when the traffic accumulated, I can earn over 20,000 a month. At the same time, I started researching another direction, helping people inspect cars. From now on, I'll take car inspection orders. If you want to buy a used car, send me the car's location and I'll go check it out for you. I charge $500 for one inspection. And if I find any problems, it's free. Free if you find problems? Where's the confidence? The confidence lies in the fact that no car can deceive me. I just need to find that car at night and listen to it tell its own history. My first order was a small Japanese car a girl wanted to buy.
Parked in the underground garage of a residential area on the south side. I snuck over in the middle of the night.
I squatted next to the car, and he said to me, I was rear-ended and had rear bumper and taillights replaced, but the chassis is fine, engine transmission are normal. Rear bumper is an Makmar part, the paint's respained and has a color difference. Left rear taillight was replaced and isn't original, otherwise it's fine.
Based on the CarZone account, I issued a detailed vehicle inspection report.
This report points exactly which parts were repaired, what paint was used, and whether their placements are original parts. So professional.
And the seller's face turned green.
He immediately dropped the price by $15,000 to close the deal. So accurate. The price $15,000 the down. Liam is awesome. After first 5-star review came out, inspection orders flew in like snowflakes. This path is finally cleared. Who the hell is behind this Car Truth? In the last 3 months, our dealership sales have dropped by 40%. The showrooms is completely empty, without a single customer in sight.
One day, a customer who was sold a flooded car by Richard came looking for him. The car suddenly lost power on the highway. The wiring harness short-circuited, smoke pouring out from the engine compartment. His wife and 3-year-old were in the back seat, crying their eyes out in terror. The customer went to the dealership. Richard's attitude was, he denied everything and told him to go ahead and sue.
This is not our problem. Besides, contract clearly states that the car's condition is as is at the time of delivery. Any issues after delivery have nothing to do with me.
Later, I heard that the customer who bought the Camaro was named John. He knelt at the dealership entrance for an entire afternoon. Richard was eating takeout in his office, with the curtains drawn tight. I memorized the name John. That night, Michael gave me a call.
I don't know how he got my number, probably dug it out of Susan's phone. At Leo, my friend, do me a favor. The dealer says my Audi has a wiring issue and needs a whole new harness. They quoted me $60,000. Didn't used to work as a mechanic? Could you take a look for me? See if I'm getting ripped off. I remembered the $500 he slid over to me at the restaurant that day. Take this for a cab ride home. Michael, that Audi A7 of yours, did you buy it from Apex Motors? If you don't believe me, go get a third-party inspection. I'll pay for the inspection. 3 days later, Michael sent a message. Only 3 words. It is true. I took a glance, didn't reply, turned the phone over, placed it face down on the table. Arthur's case took a turn in the 3rd month.
The lawyer took the data in the USB drive, along with the supplemental financial evidence, and officially submitted a complaint to District Attorney's Office. It accused Jack of forging financial data, embezzling company assets, and framing. District Attorney Turris accepted the case. At the same time, I was ready to play my last card. That afternoon, I arranged to meet 3 people at a cafe downtown. The first one, at Liam. The second one, at David, the young father who bought the flooded Camry. The third one, a reporter from a local independent media outfit, at Frank.
Are you the blogger from Car Truth?
Yes.
How did you know I bought a flooded car?
I went searching Katakurt of Trondheim Truddy.
Yes, my daughter still has nightmares. Whenever it rains, she hugs her mom and cries.
This is Gordon's Auto Sales, a list of the accident and flood they've handled over the past 2 years, including the model, license plate, type of issue, and selling price.
How did you get this information?
I washed cars for 2 months, and I carefully inspected the condition of every single one. I have a background in auto repair. What's flooded, what's been in an accident, what has a rolled tail back a glance. I can see the truth. I just look at it differently. Then I took out that SD card. This is the proof of the insurance fraud. Their sales manager, John, intentionally smashed vehicles to claim insurance payouts. The whole process was recorded by the rear camera of a dashcast. Frank inserted the SD card into the laptop. John took a hammer and smashed the left rear fender of the car again and again. After smashing it, he took out his phone to take pictures, muttering to himself, "This angle is good. These should be enough for the insurance claim." This we can work with. Frank, the owner of Gordon's Auto Sales. Gordon?
There's a chain of interest between these two. Are you Liam? The one from the case?
Yes. The prosecutor's office has already accepted my complaint against Jack.
Frank's report has been published. Along with the footage of the moving car smoking on the highway, the video of Marcus smashing the car, and the detailed list of 17 problematic cars. On the first day the video was released, the views exceed 500,000. On the 5th day, the insurance company reported to the police. Arthur was taken out of his office by the police. He suddenly turned his head and glanced at the parking yacht. He opened his mouth but made no sound. Aquan had already been taken a step ahead into another police car.
It's over.
On same day, Matthew posted on's message minds. To today are the really greedy things. What lawn? Matthew married Sameth as comment. Shorten after is Sameth AO Foster minds. Some paths, once take wrong, just wrong. Tasa follow a message.
At Liam, I want to see you. I looked at it for 3 seconds and turned off the phone screen. I threw the phone on the coffee table and then went to the kitchen to pour a glass of water. The 3rd week after Gordon was arrested,
Arthur asked to meet me at the tea house. The trial has started. The prosecutor's office has confirmed all 3 charges: forging financial data, embezzling 4.7 million of company assets, false accusation and framing.
Is there any problem with the chain of evidence?
No problem. The data to the USB drive is the cushion, plus on the bank statements, additionally by the lawyer. The engine crews, witness testimonies, everything they linked up, no breaks.
Is there any problem with the chain of evidence?
No problem. The data to the USB drive is the cushion, plus on the bank statements, additionally by the lawyer. The engine crews, witness testimonies, everything they linked up, no breaks.
Is a full 14 months earlier than the R&D start date they publicly claimed.
14 months earlier?
Right.
Their lawyer must be dumbfounded?
Speechless on the spot. Opened his mouth for a long time but couldn't say a complete sentence.
The judge said the verdict will be announced at a later date, but in this situation, turning the tables is only a matter of time. At Leo?
Yeah.
That 10% of the shares, I'll raise it to 15% for you.
Go. No need. 10 is enough.
You are really good at spotting hidden value.
It's not about spotting hidden value. It's that those things were always there, just that no one was willing to crouch down and listen.
Gordon's verdict came down faster than Jack insurance fraud plus selling inferior products, passing off flooded and wrecked cars as good ones. Combined punishment for multiple offenses, 4 years and 6 months. John was sentenced to 3 years, 4.5 years. It's neither too long
nor too short. But it's enough time for him to figure one thing out inside. Fake things can't cover up the truth. David got his compensation. Liam got his compensation. In Lehman's rented room, the phone screen was lit up, a row of debt collection tests, credit card overdue, loan collections, and the repair bill for the flooded Audi. All the paper-thin walls collapsed at once.
Let's break up.
Samantha looked at the breakup message she received and cried. Okay. They broke up. It wasn't Samantha who dumped him. It was who couldn't hold on anymore.
Tuesday night, my phone rang. It was Samantha.
Liam.
Samantha, just say what you want to say. Yeah.
Can you forgive me?
Whether I forgive you or not doesn't really matter anymore. Just live your own life.
Then can we?
Samantha, I'm doing pretty fine now, too. You'll be fine, too, but not with me. Okay. Some things, once missed, are just missed. Just like spilled water, it can't be gathered back. But new shoots will grow, and life goes on. Half a year later, Car Truth's followers broke 1 million. I set up my own studio, specializing in used car inspections and populars and popular kinds. 2 of the rough jade stones were sold. The big one wasn't sold.
Over 700,000.
Keep this one for now. Restored its original name. Arthur resumed his position as the company representative. I became a 10% shareholder of the company. Everything is going up, like a watered cactus. Although slow, it keeps growing, which is fast enough. One weekend night, I went to the west side. The iron fence of Apex Auto had been half torn down. There was a seal on the door. A few cars that hadn't been dealt with in time were still parked in the yard, covered in dust.
Is anyone here?
Car wash boy, why are you back?
Came to see you guys.
Look at you now. We all know when that BMW 30 was seized, he kept muddling about it all day, saying you were the smartest car wash boy he'd ever seen. How will you guys be dealt with later?
Heard a used car inspection company is coming to collect us.
That company seems to be called Auto Truth. Don't worry, leave it to me. Some people say I'm lucky. They say I picked up a bargain. They say how could a car wash boy like me turn his life around? Actually, there's no such thing as picking up a bargain. I'm just willing to squat down and listen to those covered up voices. Cars don't lie. The tampered mileage, the flood damage, the crashed chassis, they remember it all. Just like some people. The lies they've told, the guilty things they've done, the people they've stepped on. They think if they cover it up, no one will know. But the truth will never be covered up forever. It's just waiting. Waiting for someone willing to squat down and listen.
The technical cooperation with Germany has been negotiated.
Signing next month. Okay. By the way, about your car inspection business, are you interested in expanding it? I know a few investors. Yes. Let's talk later. In this world, cars don't lie, but people do. Every car has a story, and so does every person. Some stories are hidden away. Some stories are covered up. But it doesn't matter. As long as someone is willing to squat down and listen, the truth will never disappear. I used to think turning my life around meant having money. Later I realized turning your life around means you finally don't have to bow your head and tell lies. Some people make a fortune by lying. Some people make a living by telling the truth. And me, I just happened to hear the truth from the cars. And just happened to speak the truth that people dare not say. Because what's fake can never become real.